This is the latest Galaxy Watch 4 40mm and I'm going to show you all its hidden features. It's going to be a detailed video. Feel free to check out the timestamps along the video timeline, and at the end I'll be talking about things that I really hate about this watch. Guys, you're watching with Stu, and if it's your first time here, thank you so much for clicking. Here's where I review smartwatches, smartphones, earbuds, etc. So if you're into all that kind of stuff, you must consider subscribing. Let's start with the hidden developer mode. Go under settings, about watch, software. You should see the software version. Tap on it about 5 times to activate the developer mode. You can come back and tap 5 times again to deactivate the developer mode. Now under developer options, you'll find a whole bunch of options. I've done a detailed video for most of these options and the video is linked at the end. Be sure to check it out if you want to learn more. Most of these options are for debugging that allows to connect this watch to a computer or Wi-Fi for advanced operations. However, for an average user, under developer mode you'll find 3 options of animation scales, like the window animation scale, transition animation scale, and animator duration scale, which by default are all set at 1x speed. I personally turn off animation scale, and I suggest you should try that for 2 reasons. Number 1, the watch will instantly feel super fast, as basically we just turned off all the animation scales, so the window will just pop up without any fading animations. And number 2, it will ever so slightly improve the battery life, as the screen does not have to work hard to display any animations. Try this out and comment down below and let me know how do you feel about this. Moving on, let's talk about the Snore Detect. Galaxy Watch 4 has an awesome feature of detecting snores, which would likely get undetected unless you hear it from your partner, which would then start up that whole dubious conversation. Well, now you can be certain about your snores with exact time and audio recording. Unfortunately, you cannot activate this feature from your watch. You have to go on the Samsung Health app on your smartphone. Now for this feature to work properly, you have to go on to the top right option, select Snore Detect, and make sure to turn it on. You also have an option for always and once. If you select always, the watch will detect snores every night, and just a word of advice, this Snore Detect feature is a power hog. You have to place your phone in charging in order to not wake up with an almost drained phone. Also, don't forget to turn on the audio record so you don't forget to get the proof of your snores by audio recording. Now, as shown here, you need to make sure that the phone is placed right beside your head and plugged it in for charging, and make sure the watch is on your wrist. And that is it. You're all set to record your snores. Let me show you a test night. On this particular night, I had 2 recordings of 10 minutes of snore, where it shows what time during the night snores were detected, and these snores, just for your information, are not continuous for the entire 10 minutes. They were intermittent, and sometimes I have seen recordings where there were just few snores but the recording were of 5 to 6 minutes long. Another suggestion here is to make sure to turn off the fan to reduce the background noise. While we are in the sleep detect option, finally there is now an option to measure the blood oxygen level during the entire sleep cycle. For this, again go on the top right option under sleep section from the mobile health app. Here you will find blood oxygen during sleep, right above the Snore Detect option. Now turning this feature on will monitor the blood oxygen level throughout the night. To save battery life, you can turn this feature off, but despite of this feature being turned on, in my case, I'm still able to get a day and a half of battery life from my Galaxy Watch 4 40mm. Let's have a look at a test reading. Now, my main complaint here is I cannot zoom in or zoom out along the timeline to see when and exactly how much my oxygen level dipped down. It just shows this graph which you cannot zoom in and shows the minimum level. The Galaxy Watch 4 is now much better at sleep detecting than its predecessor, the Watch 3, as it gives you a sleep score to quantify your sleep. It also measures all the sleep stages, precise sleep and wake up time, along with the calorie burned during the sleep. Now let's talk about the camera control feature. This feature is only available when your Watch 4 is paired to a Samsung smartphone. I've done a detailed video for this feature linked at the end, but primarily you will find this pre-installed camera app in the menu. With this app, you can remotely trigger the phone's default camera app to open even when the phone is locked. The viewfinder is pretty responsive and there is no lag whatsoever. There is a timer on the top which you can either turn off or set it to 3 seconds. I wish there was more control over here. Well, you can now trigger a picture right from the watch, and you can also view that picture straight on the watch. It won't be saved on your watch gallery app, but my personal gripe with this camera app is that you cannot zoom in or out from this app. You can't switch between various modes like photo, video, ultra wide, etc. from the watch. All this has to be done from the phone. So this app is, in my opinion, a remote trigger for the phone's camera with a viewfinder and the ability to see captured images only from the watch, as the watch won't be able to play a recorded video file. You have to go for that on your phone. Another feature that I use quite often is the Show Last app. To access this, go in the menu and you will see this app icon, and it's basically the Show Last app, where you'll get a tray of all the open apps running in the background. You can swipe up on any app that you want to close. A pro tip here is make sure you close as many unnecessary apps as you can so the watch's performance is not affected. You can also close all the app at once by the close all option at the very end. You might have seen me using the digital rotating bezel during the video, and yes, this Watch 4 40mm has a digital rotating bezel, and with the recent update, the issues that I had with this digital rotating bezel up until now were all addressed, and now it actually works great. The Galaxy Watch 4 Classic or the previous iteration like the Galaxy Watch 3 and others have a physical mechanical rotating bezel. This digital rotating bezel comes pre-activated. Now, for any reason, if you find this feature annoying, which would be quite rare, but in that case, just go in the settings, general, and turn off the touch bezel option. The touch bezel does give you a haptic feedback, and it's certainly great to have. It's very well integrated in all the apps and settings, etc., and it is quite robust. But honestly, by no means it can be a substitute to the physical mechanical bezel. So let me know which one would you prefer, as the only difference between the Galaxy Watch 4 40mm and the Watch 4 Classic 42mm is the digital versus the physical rotating bezel, aluminum versus the stainless steel body, and price, where the Galaxy Watch 4 Classic 42mm is 160 Canadian dollar expensive than the Watch 4 40mm. Personally, I would go with the Galaxy Watch 4 40mm and save 160 Canadian dollar with a compromise of just the digital rotating bezel, which I think isn't a big of a compromise either. Alright, let me show you how to take a screenshot on this Galaxy Watch 4 40mm. At any point in time, if you want to take a screenshot, just press both the physical buttons together and a screenshot will be instantly captured and automatically stored on the watch in the gallery app, as well as it will be also sent to the paired smartphone. I've done a detailed video for this feature for previous Galaxy watches linked in the video description or at the end. Just for your information, the screenshot will be 396 pixel resolution. Body composition analysis is the latest and a unique feature not seen on other smartwatches, but it's now available for the Galaxy Watch 4 lineup. This is not something that the previous iteration will get due to the lack of the sensor. This basically is a bioelectrical impedance analysis which uses a weak electrical current to measure the amount of water in your body, since most water is stored in the muscles and since the water has a lower electrical resistance. So if your reading has a lower impedance, means that there is more water, thus more muscle mass. This is a great way to measure the health than a BMI or the body mass index, as it doesn't account for the fat or the skeletal muscle mass. So a muscular person might have a higher BMI, which would be redundant, as what he really needs to know is how much skeletal muscle mass and body fat percentage he has over the BMI. So the watch itself will guide you properly to take a reading, and the reading will also be transferred to your phone. This process is relatively quick and quite nifty feature to have. Guys, if you made it this far in the video, I thank you so much for sticking around. Please hit that like button as it really helps out my channel, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out any upcoming tech related videos. Come on guys, it's free and the button is right under the video. Make sure you hit them. Okay, let's briefly talk about few features in settings. Under connection, you will find disconnection alert, which I find really helpful as the watch will notify you when it's disconnected from the phone. All the other settings are pretty self-explanatory, but let's go under display. Here's where you'll find show media control. Make sure you turn this on, as anytime you start playing any music or YouTube video or any type of media from your default or any third-party players, the media control will instantly show up on the watch, from where you can play, pause, skip a track forward or backward, control volume, etc. And if you were to exit the media control during a playback, you'll get this floating media control icon on the main watch face screen. Such an icon will also pop up for most of the apps that run in background, like Workout and others, so you can easily go back to that app. Like in this case, I can go back to the media control by tapping on this floating icon. Moving on, under settings, you'll find Samsung Health. Here's where you will find auto detect workouts. Be sure to turn on all the activities that you want to be auto detected, and more importantly, you can turn on the location record for running and outdoor walking. I have tested this feature and the watch has very efficiently auto detected my walk right from the start. However, you'll be notified after about 10 minutes of a continuous activity, and rest assured all the data for those 10 minutes will be recorded. Now going back under settings and advanced features, you'll find water lock mode. Turn this on if you have your watch on during a shower or a swim to avoid accidental touch. To deactivate the water lock mode, just press and hold on the top right button for 2 seconds and it will turn off. Now, bedtime mode is what I regularly use, as it would turn off the always on display, turn off the raise to wake feature, turn on the do not disturb mode, and the phone screen will turn grayscale. This mode will help you to fall asleep easily without any disturbances and also save some battery life during your sleep. You can also schedule the bedtime mode if you have consistent sleep and wake up time. An Easter egg here is you can turn on the bedtime mode straight from the drop down settings menu, and if your watch is paired to a Samsung smartphone, it will also activate the do not disturb mode on the phone, and your phone will also turn on to grayscale mode. This is a pretty handy feature and saves battery life on both phone and watch. Speaking of grayscale, you can actually go in the accessibility menu in the settings to get all the features like visibility enhancement, where you will find the grayscale mode, hearing, and advanced settings. I have done an in-depth video for all these accessibility settings, and the video is linked up in the card section and in the video description. Be sure to check it out in case if you want to learn more about the accessibility settings. Now let's go back under settings and advanced features. Here's where you'll find customize key option, where you can configure the physical key. You can see I have the camera control on double press to the home key and recent app on the short press of the back key. Another fun feature is gestures. The gestures were under labs in the previous Galaxy watches, but with the Galaxy Watch 4, you can use the gesture to answer a call. You can even take a tutorial, and believe me, it works great. The arm twist gesture is to decline or dismiss an alarm. Just imagine if you are doing groceries or you have kids in your hand, you aren't able to swipe or to answer an important call. Well, now you just have to do the gesture to take or dismiss a call. Going back under battery, you'll find power saving mode, which from my testing can easily add about 5 to 6 extra hours to the battery life. And the watch only mode will get you up to 10 days. For your information, you can turn off the watch only mode by pressing and holding the home key or placing the watch in charging. Now going back under settings, go under security. Here is where we will find lock, where you can either add a pattern or a pin, which is mandatory if you set up a payment method via Samsung Pay or Google Pay. but you can also select to hide sensitive information provided you have a watch face developed by Samsung, as with some third-party watch faces the notification may slide through. So as long as you have the watch snug on your wrist, you won't be asked to enter the password or draw a pattern. Now with all those settings done, let me talk about watch faces. With the Wear OS 3, the availability of the Google Play Store, Galaxy Watch 4 now has a huge variety of the watch faces. I'm sure you'll find the watch face that you really like. If you want a custom image as the background, then you can go with the My Photo Plus watch face available for free, where you can customize it with any image from gallery, straight from the watch, or even the mobile phone. And not just that, you can select from 5 different clock face styles and add 4 custom watch face elements, so-called compilations. This can be done from the watch by touching and holding the watch face and clicking the customize button. Now another cool watch face that I really like is the AR emoji. This reminds me of the Apple Watch Series 6 AR emoji watch face, but honestly I really like the Apple Watch AR emoji watch face, but I certainly appreciate the Galaxy Watch 4 having it. For this watch face, you have to go on the Galaxy Wear app. Under watch faces, you'll find the AR emoji watch face, and you can customize your own emoji or add a new one by just taking a selfie. The phone will automatically create your custom emoji, which you can further customize it with your custom glasses, hats, clothing, footwear, and a whole bunch of customization. After all that is done on the watch, I really like the animation, especially where it really pushes you to check the notification in case if you have one. Lastly, I really want you guys to go ahead and download the free Gboard app by Google from the Play Store, as this app, I'm telling you guys, is a lifesaver. Once installed, go in the settings, general, input, and select keyboard list and defaults, and change the default keyboard to Gboard instead of the Samsung keyboard. Let me show you why. This Gboard is way better than Samsung keyboard in every aspect. The emoji list is great with the Gboard. More importantly, the QWERTY keyboard is not an option with the Samsung keyboard, and the QWERTY keyboard on the Gboard is quite robust. It precisely detects every single touch despite of the screen being smaller in screen real estate. Plus, the predictive text is also very handy. Sometimes I think it really knows what I'm going to type. Not just that, you can also use the swipe feature if you are someone who like it. So having this Gboard makes responding to messages and notifications super easy on the go. Finally, let's end this video with my personal gripes of this Galaxy Watch 4. The major caveat with Galaxy Watch 4 is compatibility. Just like the Galaxy Buds 2, for which I recently did a review video, this Galaxy Watch 4 is also not compatible with iPhone. So if you have an iPhone or are going to switch to an iPhone, don't go with the Galaxy Watch 4 or the Galaxy Buds 2. Not just that, if you are planning to pair the Galaxy Watch 4 to any other non-Samsung smartphone, then a lot of features will be stripped out, like the camera control app, certain watch faces and apps. Another caveat is that I have been using the Galaxy Watch Active 2, Galaxy Watch 3, and now this Galaxy Watch 4 since past 2 years, but Samsung haven't officially announced the promised ECG and blood pressure feature on either of these watches despite of their promises, and this is ridiculous. I had to do a workaround video to get ECG and blood pressure app on my previous Galaxy Watch, which apparently does not work for this Galaxy Watch 4, and I'm located in Canada. Comment down below if your country got the official update for the ECG and blood pressure so it can help out others. Another minor issue is the default wristband, which is subjective, so if you have a thin wrist, then the band will stick out, leaving a gap on both the sides, which sometimes does look annoying. They basically tried to fill up the gap between the body and the link, but it's not executed right. I would rather recommend you to check out the stainless steel wristband video that I did a while back, as it works great with this Galaxy Watch 4. So overall, the Galaxy Watch 4 is a great watch provided you have a Samsung smartphone. That's about it with this episode. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to hit that like button as it really helps out my channel. Consider subscribing for more videos of this watch as it's on the way. Also check out these videos as you may find them helpful.